Hello, my friends. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully, your favorite real estate broker. All right, my friends. Well, we have a lot of information to review today. A lot of information to discuss. I mean, there's so many great things going on here in the real estate field, in the mortgage field, in credit repair, in the real estate pre-licensing classes. But the first thing I want to start off is talking about another, a real estate investor, someone who doesn't even have their real estate license. But guess what? They're just not happy this morning, and they made it clear to me about how happy they are not because they're not getting their way. So I have a home that I put on the market, and it's still coming soon right now. It's listed for about $540,000, and it's a beautiful home. In fact, we haven't even had any showings yet. It's still not active on the market. We're starting to do some coming soon marketing activities. This gentleman has never been in the home, and almost every single time I get a listing, what he does is he makes an offer before looking at it, before even getting a chance to walk into the home, before seeing any disclosures. Hey, Emilio, thank you so much for joining us. User 867, McAllen, thank you. Blake, thank you for joining us. So this investor, he makes these offers 65%, give or take, of the asking price. So, he made an offer for $370,000. What do I do, which I'm supposed to do by state law, state real estate rules, right, is I review with the seller. I say, hey, Mr. Seller, it's coming soon period. This guy's never been in the house, never seen anything. Of course, he's seen the beautiful pictures. And he's saying that he can purchase the home for $370,000. Remember, it's listed for $540,000. He'll buy it for $370,000, and he wants the opportunity to assign it to someone else. So the seller tells me, Rob, what's the matter with you? What are you coming to me with this offer for? This is foolishness, Rob. Why are you giving me foolishness? I'm like, I understand, Mr. Seller. My seller, my client, I'm with you 1,000%. But I have to review this offer with you because this is the crazy offer I got. You tell him I don't want to hear about that foolishness. Hey, Philip, thank you so much for joining us. You tell him I don't want to hear about that foolishness. The heck, you coming to me with an offer for $370, the house is $540. Okay. So I go back to the real estate investor. I call him up. Hey, Rob, what's going on? I haven't heard about my offer. It's been 2 days now. Well, first of all, my seller's been on vacation. Second of all, the guy made an offer for $370 on a $540,000 home. He didn't even write up an offer. He just sent me a text, right? And, of course, I try to get back to him as soon as I can. But I call him up, and he's like, well, what'd the seller say? I told him. I said, listen, the seller said, don't come back with this foolishness. The seller said the offer for $370 is foolishness. Well, Rob, I'm a real estate investor and I buy a lot of properties and I feel like you're insulting me. I said, dude, listen, I'm not insulting you. I said, if anybody wants to be insulted, it's the seller because you're making an offer, something crazy, on this beautiful home. I said, I'm not personally trying to insult you. Well, that's how I feel. I said, dude, I'm sorry, Mr. Real Estate Investor. I'm sorry if you feel that way. But the seller specifically told me to tell you that he doesn't want to hear about these foolish offers. And wouldn't you know, this guy started going off on me. I'm an easygoing guy. I don't like to get riled up. In fact, you will never see me angry. You won't see me lose my temper if you treat me halfway decent, right? He went off on me, and thank God this was the morning, right? Hey, Andrea. Hey, Rob. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate all your likes and shares. Thank God this was the morning that I did my long jog. You know, I went about 7.5 miles this morning. Slow, but I still got the mileage in. And I think it wears away on my edge a little bit. I don't lose my cool as quick. So I kind of just started chuckling at this guy after he's going off. And I said, listen, I think we're done with this conversation. And next time you want to make an offer, make an official offer. Show me your proof of funds. Let's make sure you look at the property. Show me your deposit. And we'll make sure that we can go forward in that way, the right way. Not taking shortcuts. Not just throwing around some crazy, crazy numbers. Right? Hey, thank you so much for your likes and shares. I appreciate everyone. So that's our first little lesson for today, is we don't have to necessarily stoop to the level of some people, and they're trying to get us caught up in their level, right? They want to they're making those specific insults. They're almost trying to bait you in, because why? They're not getting their way on something that's so unreasonable, right? And it's not even me specifically who's making those decisions, who's making those comments. Those were specifically from the seller that he wanted me to share. So I would tell you, my friends, if you're trying to take advantage of a situation, especially in real estate, well, you know what? Usually it's going to fall apart. Hey, Miller, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all for your likes and your shares. Usually it's going to fall apart because, yes, everybody wants to get a good deal, and we can help you get a fair deal. We can help you find a property. A good realtor like myself can help you find a property or sell a property and get you the best terms possible, as long as they're not totally taking advantage of someone where you're trying to manipulate the situation, where you're trying to take advantage of someone who's maybe going through hard times. So that's an important part. Of course, as we go through our real estate questions, tips today, please put them in the chat. Any questions you have, I'd love to be able to go over them with you. Hey, bro, thank you so much for joining us. Bio, thank you. Todd, thank you for joining us. So feel free to put whatever questions you have about real estate, mortgages, credit at that dream home. Does that make the most sense? Are we, hurting ourselves by only accepting that dream home? Because in many cases, you're going to find yourself probably disappointed after a while. Hey, Paul, John, Carl, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely appreciate it. So the point that I'm getting to is that, yes, we know in comparison to the last couple of years, real estate mortgage rates have gone up. We know that. In fact, last night I was looking. I did not look today yet, but last night I was looking, and a 30-year fixed mortgage for FHA was about 7.3%. And of course, that's going to depend on what your credit score and what your income and credentials are and so forth. But that's where we are. At least that's where we were last night, somewhere around 7.3%. And it got me to thinking, as I'm waiting for my client here to show some of these beautiful condos here in Newington, Connecticut, it got me to thinking, hey, one of these condos might not be someone's dream home. But you know what? It's a great stepping stone, right? Hey, Courtney, thank you. Good morning. Appreciate it. Hey, Ashley, good morning. It's a great stepping stone for you to stop renting, right? Stop renting. Start building equity in something, maybe get some tax advantages, build some appreciation, build some wealth. It's almost like having a forced savings plan in a way, my friends, right? Because you, every time you make that rental payment, all you're doing is making someone else richer, right? And so this is something like this could be an excellent stepping stone. You can still enjoy your life if you like condo living. right? You will still be able to have your own entrance. You have parking that's taken care of. You have a pool. You have a clubhouse. And it might be something that works out well for you. But that's kind of one of the points that I wanted to make here is you don't necessarily need to start at the top, right? I mean, what happened to those days? And I kind of lived through this, right? Where you know what? You have to start at the bottom. You know, I was 16 years old and got a job at Stop and Shop. Well, I didn't get to be the produce manager on the first day I worked there. Hey, Papa. Hey, Carl. Thank you so much for joining us. Yola, Tyler, thank you so much for joining us. I didn't get to be the produce manager on the first day I worked there, right? I had to start off on what? Bringing those shopping carts into the building, especially on those days when it was cold and it was rainy. I didn't want to do that stuff, but I did the best I could, right? Because I wanted to get better. I wanted to do better. And then I got better things, right? So the next step after the shopping carts, if you worked in a grocery store back in the day, maybe you remember, it was being a bagger. Right? And I was like, whoa, you mean I get to stand here inside with the air conditioning? I get to stand here in the heat. I get to talk to maybe the cashier. Hey, I get to talk to some of the people that came through. How's it going? And all I had to do was make sure that I did not put the cans on top of the bread. I didn't put the big heavy boxes on top of the eggs. So I was doing pretty darn good. You see, I got to the next step. And then I became a cashier. And then I got tired of working with all that stuff. And I said, let me get into the produce department. And of course, I love ice cream. So I needed to get into the frozen foods department. Right? But the whole point is I was working step by step to get to the next level. And so you can possibly do that when you think about real estate. You know, maybe you're renting right now. Maybe it means that you got to start off with a 1,300 square foot home, something that's smaller. And hey, Japata, thank you so much. Doug, thank you so much for joining us. Lou Wins, definitely appreciate it. Please make sure you put any questions you have. You know, yesterday had a buyer consultation meeting with someone, and they've been renting, and you know they were saying on how they never owned a home, and renting, and you know they were saying on how they never owned a home, and no one in their family, like their mother, their father, their grandparents, never owned a home. And they were looking online at some homes, and they wanted me to help them start looking. But guess what? All the bedrooms were just too small for them. Every single house. Oh, well, you know, we just went to a local furniture store. We just went to a local furniture store and we spent almost $6,000 on our bedroom furniture. And it's very, very huge. So if, you know, for us to buy a house, we need big bedrooms. Well, guess what? Their budget didn't match big bedrooms. In fact, their budget didn't match $6,000 worth of furniture because they put that furniture on credit, which means that they can only afford lower homes. You see, if they didn't have that $6,000 payment on their credit, hey, Julianne, Lady, Patricia, Sandra, thank you so much for joining us. If they didn't have that $6,000 worth of furniture on their credit, well, they might be able to get a home that's going to be more in their price range as far as having bigger bedrooms. You see, all these decisions that people are making, these things that people are doing, they're creating what they're doing to get you as much exposure as possible. You know, getting those internet clicks, I can promise you, are so important because it shows people. And it shows the seller, like yourself, if that's what you're looking to do. It shows you that this person is out there getting you the exposure that you need. You know, in many cases, people think, well, I can just put my home on the market and in one day it's going to sell. And I could tell you right here, the end of August, 2023, in some cases, you might be right. But did you leave money on the table? What do you mean, Rob? Did I leave money on the table? Well, the point is I had a listing with someone, and she basically, meaning the seller, complained to me and said, hey, listen, you know what? I wanted to list my home for $25,000 higher, right? I wanted to list it for $25,000. And so just by increasing the asking price and marketing it stronger, we were able to get this seller an extra $50,000 off a $300,000 condo. So anyways, my friends, that's everything I got for you today. My buyer's here. I'm getting ready to go show some condos. This is Rob Rosa, hopefully your favorite real estate broker, signing out. And this is my buddy John.
Hey.
We'll talk to you.